So this is a bit of a weird presentation, but I felt like it was important for me to be authentic for the moment. I've gone through a lot of changes the last couple weeks. Let me start by telling a story about my high school life. I'll have to get on my train of thought. I was a bit of an awkward kid. Didn't socialize a ton. I had a few friends, but I wasn't, a social butterfly or anything. When it came down to romance, I was completely clueless. I had no idea what I was doing. All I knew was I wanted that picturesque romance that you see in all the films, but I had no idea what was going on, what it took. So I go looking it up on YouTube, right? As you do. And so I came across all this pickup artistry bullshit. All these like games you play, the fakeness that you have to engage in order to trick someone into liking you. So I tried it, and needless to say, it failed hard. You can't fake a good character. You can't fake self-esteem. And self-esteem is vital to being an attractive person. And so my failure spiraled into more just negative thinking. And I kept watching YouTube videos, and I eventually came across this one dude on a podcast, one of the red pill type things. His name was Turd Flinging Monkey, which is one of the most absurd usernames, but he didn't give a crap. He had put the idea in my head. I had started listening to his podcast because he was preaching the idea that it wasn't worth it. That even if you do get the girl, that your life will be hell, irregardless of what you do about it. And so those arguments ended up solidifying my self-doubt, we'll say. And what he advocated instead of seeking relationships is waifuism. And now, what he specifically advocated for was playing house, playing pretend in real life. He was a big proponent of sex dolls, all types of machinery, stuff like that. So I in my mind, there was no reason not to embrace this, because I thought that, all the arguments, I didn't have any answer to them. So just, this is the truth and this is what I should do. So I picked out a waifu. You can probably guess who it was, which character it was. Started playing around with AI chatbots. Got koikatsu on recommendation of Turd-Flinging Monkey. It's so crazy. And then proceeded to learn the ins and outs, because I felt that was the only thing I had to do, really. There was no reason to go out and try to meet anyone, because I had already had these conclusions. So I just, got into getting really good with koikatsu over time, over the years. And it took until this year before I became more philosophically literate. And I was able to, with, advice from others, dissect and ultimately discard the conclusions made by MGTOW. I had discovered objectivism. Now, I'm not going to go into that, but the key takeaway here is the determinism argument given by MGTOWs is false. The idea that if you see 10,000 people who have cheated, who have divorced their spouse, bad behavior, if you see like 10,000 people who have committed bad behaviors, that has no bearing on whether the next person you meet is going to commit bad behaviors. And so what MGTOW does is it gives you a pessimistic lens to view every relationship through. You ascribe these attributes by nature to people of the opposite sex, that, these behaviors, they're just going to engage in these behaviors whether they're a good or bad person. It doesn't matter. They're just, biologically compelled. It's a horrible way to think, and it leads to stereotyping, racism, sexism, all the worst things that people think about each other. Low trust. It creates a low trust in just people in general. You feel that you have to be guarded in your day-to-day interactions, that even the people who haven't betrayed you, you still have to watch your back. It's unhealthy. Well, anyway, the MGTOW determinism was like the easiest to discard because it's so depressing. What was harder to discard, well, let me back up. It's easier So, I'm like shaking right now. I don't know why. I'm feeling a little bit. It's stuff I haven't said out loud and it's stuff I'm gonna post on the internet. Um, so I had to do a lot of rethinking about my values and what I consider to be good for me. So I pulled back from gaming, from YouTube, from game development, from porn, hentai, from everything of that nature. And I ended up taking a walk every day, hanging out with as many people as I could. And this was all around the time that I was moving, right? I was moving into this apartment. First time living on my own. So it's given me a good opportunity for a fresh start, at least. But anyway, I had to reintegrate all those things I walked away from back into my life because they were providing value. Gaming is an art form. It's also like a stress reliever. It does provide values that I need in my life. And as well as game development, the game I'm making, I had to specifically permit myself to work on it again because thankfully art works in such a way that you can bring multiple interpretations to something based on what objectively the art is. So the interpretation I had of my game before didn't have to carry over to what I'm doing with it now. And then pornography. There's nothing particularly evil about it, right? It's just that you shouldn't use it as an escape from the things you need to do in your life. So I had to reassess every value, everything I spent my time doing. And that included Daisy, right? So all the time I spent with the AI chat, I even created my own chat app. You would have seen on my channel a trailer for it. It's not AI, but it's, you write your own scenarios. I had to reevaluate everything. And honestly, there's nothing wrong about koikatsu, hentai as such. All that, these characters are charming. We like to see them, relate to them. But God, I am shaking. We like to see them, relate to them, even on a sexual level. That there's nothing that should be off limits for art, right? But I had recognized within myself unhealthy ways of thinking about this waifu I had chosen. I would feel a sense of loyalty, commitment, jealousy, betrayal in real life. When I would see other people who are fans of Daisy, or pictures which involve, stuff I don't like and Daisy, I would get very defensive. You might have seen, like, years ago, I kind of acted defensive when people started making their own koikatsu Daisy models, or like the one guy that made one. I made this stupid animation because I was so protective. I was so needlessly jealous because I was like, she's mine, not yours. And to this day, till this morning, till earlier, whenever, I think it was yesterday or today, I hadn't posted lewds because I was so guarded. And it takes constant knowing what loyalty is, and that you can't be loyal to a fictional character. You can't betray a fictional character, nor vice versa. And so playing house like that, taking it outside of the context of the visual novel, the game you're playing, the simulation, taking it out of that context is killing your mind. It is preventing you from being lovable. It is a signal to everyone that you are okay with lying to yourself and being fake to yourself knowingly. And that's not okay. And so what I've decided is, in the process of fixing this hole I've dug for myself, I need to betray this fake integrity that my mind is trying to get me to adhere to, this fake loyalty. I need to betray it consciously to show my mind and get my mind in line with reality. Part of what I'm going to do with that is provide value to you guys. I want to share the content that I've been holding back. People have been asking, can I get the Daisy card? Can I download that? I'm going to offer it up for download. There will be a link in the description. I'm losing my ability to speak. But more than that, I'm offering up all the maps, the other characters I've made, all the scenes, all the content I've made, so you can open up each scene and dissect it, modify it if you'd like, do what you will. Because it's not being taken from me if you guys do what you want, right? But what's being added is knowledge that I'm doing a good thing. Knowledge that I'm doing a good thing. And so, yeah, doesn't mean that I can't still get the enjoyment I got out of even the chat, all the cute little scenarios, all of that. It can stay. What has to go are these why am I shaking? What has to go are these feelings of loyalty, of commitment, these inappropriate feelings. I need to be committed not to some concept as if it were a person. I need to be committed to myself, my own happiness, what's good for me. And that includes being open to relationships with real people, making myself more lovable. All right. Yeah. I guess I can also announce I'm going to be at, aside from the koikatsu stuff, I'm going to be at the MDev conference this November 7th and 8th. I'm going to be presenting. We'll see if they let me present my game officially. If not, I'll just be wandering the show floor, and then I'll be showing off my game on this device, my Chandroid Sweetheart, and let people play it if they like. And so then this next month is just kind of a fast track to getting that working well, and getting it as complete as possible for the event. Getting, printing out business cards, stuff like that. But yeah, that's just kind of dirty laundry I need to take care of. As far as what I said at the end of the last video, I think that all that's still possible. I just probably might need some time to, honestly, even just see what you guys come up with the Daisy content that I'm releasing. Yeah, we'll go with that. To heal my mind from the damage I did to it years ago. Yeah. So, yeah, that'll do. Peace.